Guys, listen, I hope your holidays are going well, but we need to talk about what is going on in the Shanquella Robinson case. Now, if you haven't been paying attention because you've been enjoying the holiday festivities, let me bring up to speed really quickly. All right. Pictures were released that are alleged to be of Shanquella in the final moments. Okay. Although people are saying naysaying things, it is the same villa. There's two MTs. There is the doctor. Okay. These pictures look legit, but let's just say, right? Because there's been a lot of things saying the GoFundMe's fake, which it is not. The family actually needs that money to hire their own investigators, to hire their own lawyers, to hire people, because as we see, the FBI is taking too long. But let me get back to my point, right? What's going on with the Shanquella case? Everybody is kind of like infighting. Oh, that's not true. That's not true. This and that. But let's just do this. Let's just take what the naysayers are saying as face value. Let's just say the pictures proving that she was dressed by the Cabo6 aren't real. Let's just say that these subpoenas that have been issued for the Cabo6 for them to testify in Mexico aren't real. I find that hard to believe, that anybody would believe that 6 people witnessed a brutal fight, or at the very least 4 people witnessed a brutal fight, taped the fight, and they weren't subpoenaed to come testify as to what they witnessed. Where do they do that there? In what nation, state, government, city, whatever you want to call it? Where do people, why is it so far-fetched to believe, again, that people that witnessed a brutal attack masquerading as a fight, a brutal attack masquerading as a fight that resulted in a young woman's death at age 25, where would they not be subpoenaed to testify for the trial? Not charges, but actually subpoenaed. Of course they are going to be subpoenaed, because how else is Mexico going to have a trial without subpoenaing the witnesses, right? At least one. But let's just say no subpoenas have been issued. Mexico's not going to make them testify. Mexico doesn't want to talk to them. Okay, let's just say that things are true, that Mexico doesn't care and they're not taking this seriously. All right, again, I'm not saying I agree with this, but I'm getting to a larger point, all right? I'm getting to a larger point. Let's just say that Mexico doesn't want to care about that. Let's just say the pictures are fake. Just to say the police report that we got, that was leaked, it's fake. Let's just say all that is going on and nothing is, you know what, I'll get to the point. Is anybody ever going to put pressure on the FBI to wonder exactly what is going on? Because at this point of everybody naysaying, infighting, the one thing everybody hasn't asked is, but if everybody believes is true, why isn't the FBI doing anything? Why isn't there pressure on their necks? Okay. Now, I heard a lot of people, a lot of lawyers like claim to be lawyers. Okay. And I'm not throwing salt on anybody. I'm just saying that the reason why the FBI hasn't gotten involved, right? The reason why the FBI hasn't gotten involved is because the crime wasn't committed on American soil. Don't you know? Americans somehow can go overseas to Mexico, not even overseas, go cross borders to Mexico, kill with abandon, and unless there's something tying them to the US, that's the only way that the FBI can get involved. You guys, I found information that is a bold-faced lie. It is for the misinformed. We need to start asking ourselves what's going on. Look at what happened in the Idaho murders, or the Ohio murders. Hold on, let me check so I don't disrespect anyone. Okay, it was the Idaho murders, okay? Look what happened in the Idaho murders, right? 4 people, young people in their prime, lost their lives mysteriously. In the matter of a week, 100 FBI investigators descended upon that town. 60 of them came out of that 100, came out of retirement. It is all over TikTok. It is all over the news, right? It is all over TikTok. It is all over the news. The news is reporting on it for 4 hours. People on TikTok are reporting on it all the time. It has the nation in a chokehold. They don't know who did it. right? They don't know who did it. They've been scouring 100 FBI agents, 60 that came out of retirement to work on this case. TikTok, people going crazy. Nobody's ripping each other apart on TikTok saying, oh, you can't speak on this, you can't speak on that. I don't know. Everybody is trying to keep this case open, make sure the FBI gets justice, and push toward solving this crime. Now let's look at Shanquella's case, okay? We have video. We have the names, the addresses, the nationalities. We have the location of everybody that was there. We pretty much who knows who brutally attacked her. Remains to be seen if that brutal attack led to her death, according to the autopsy. It did, didn't it? Right? Let's just speak facts of what we know. We know for a fact there is a video of a crime being committed. We know for a fact that according to the Mexico autopsy, that took place. And I believe, Shanquella, according to the Mexico autopsy, that took place. We know that that most likely looks like to be the cause of the death. We know that there were at least 4 people that witnessed this. We know that there was at least 6 people at the villa. We know who they are, where they are, what they're doing. We know there is a warrant for an arrest for who the Mexico authorities believe did it, Daejhanae Jackson. Now, it is rumored that the other people were subpoenaed to come testify, but to also be interviewed. Of course they would if there's a warrant. Of course they would start issuing subpoenas. Of course they would. The fact that at this point, everybody is just turning into naysaying everybody instead of moving it forward. But let me get to my point, because let me practice what I preach and actually move the conversation forward. If you guys don't believe anything that's going on, right? And you think it's all a lie and nothing's happening, then ask yourself why. What's the excuse everybody's been saying? Oh, because the crime didn't happen in America. There's nothing we can do. We need it for the Mexico authorities. Why are they even agreeing to extradition? If the extradition in Mexico is taking too long, and make no mistakes, extradition can happen within 3 weeks, up to 6 months. Even once they get the person, it's still paperwork in this long, complicated process, right? Ask yourself, why did they agree to let Mexico try this crime? Why? Because some lawyers on YouTube, and no shade to any lawyers on YouTube, you know, I'm a YouTube too. Please don't take this as me talking trash or throwing salt on anyone. I'm just want to say this. Why? Because a few people said, oh, because it was committed overseas. Now ask yourself the logic of that statement. You mean to tell me that, because here's the thing with the law, you don't even have to go to law school. Even though you might not think it's fair, the law always makes sense on a logical level. So ask yourself this. Before I get into the receipts to show that why aren't the FBI doing anything, because they have everything they need. But let's just say, right, we believe this cockamamie hoo-ha that's been circulating around, that the reason that the FBI in America is letting Mexico take the lead and dragging their feet with everything is because, oh, it's Mexico, and because it happened on foreign soil, we can't do anything. Let's look at that logical thing, because this is what I do. Let's look at a statement, let's break it down to the sum of its parts, and let's ask ourselves, does that make sense? Does that fit into the current framework of how our world works? Think about it. So an American citizen can go overseas and kill someone, and America's hands are tied. And not only can they not prosecute, they won't prosecute. Why? Because it happened on foreign soil. Ah. But what if it's also, okay, that doesn't sound right, and we'll discuss that, but what if it's also an American citizen that kills an American citizen on foreign soil? Can the FBI, can the federal government try them for that crime that happened on a foreign soil in America? Oh no, because there needs to be a link, there needs to be a tie, right? There needs to be some sort of anchor on American soil. Like if it was plotted on American soil, then maybe. If they planned it on American soil, maybe. But Shanquella, they didn't plan it. It happened in Mexico. So there's no tie. To which I say that doesn't even make sense. Let's break it down. You mean to tell me that Americans can go overseas and kill other American citizens or people that are as citizens or foreign nationals of another country with abandon? And when they get back to America, we just say, wow, that's rough. Caught y'all slipping. But let's actually take, first of all, that doesn't make sense on a moral or even legal level, but let's further into the legal. If that was true, how about we have international treaties with people? Why would the American passport be so valuable? Think about it. This is a country of basically jackals that we know that when we go over to another country, if the local authorities can't catch us, we can kill, we can maim, we can rob, and there's no recourse when we go back to our own country. Does that make sense to you? Would you have a treaty with another country that basically said to their citizens, you can go overseas and do whatever you want. We're not going to prosecute you. Would you let them in with a passport? No, because most likely you're coming to do illegal things. And even if you don't, if you hurt one of our citizens, let alone another American citizen, and you go back home, we have no recourse to snatch you and get you because America's not going to prosecute. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Does that make sense that from insurance companies, you want to talk about money, that insurance companies would give life insurance to Americans, knowing that if you felt like it, you could plan a vacation for your husband, wife, sister, brother, mother, uncle, whoever you have insured, take them over to Bali, be like, let's see the temples, and there they go. And here comes that 12 million. And are you going to get prosecuted for it? No, because you didn't plan it in America. You were in Bali and said, you know what? Sick of you. Boop. And push them over the cliff the temple was on. And now you got millions of dollars, right? You can go back home, live your life, and America's not going to do anything to you. Does that make sense to anybody? Now, I know I'm being like very facetious about it, but just think about it. The excuse that the FBI, the excuse that everybody's given us as to why they can't do anything with Shanquella's case is because it didn't happen on American soil. It wasn't plotted on American soil. But you guys, I'm here to tell you that's all a lie, because look what I found. This is Chapter 18 of the Universal Statutory Code, Part 119M. Foreign murder of a United States national. This is just up for justice.com. It is a criminal offense under this section for a U.S. national to murder another U.S. national outside of the United States if the murder occurred within the jurisdiction of a foreign country. Now, let's keep in mind there are statutory limitations to this, which means that if you do something in Bali and then come back, no, 40 years later or 50 years later, no, they won't get you. But it hasn't been 40 or 50 years with Shanquella. I say this to say, this was a deletion by an American citizen on another citizen. There's nothing in the statute on the fact that it needs to be planned out in America. There needs to be some tie in America. There needs to be some nexus in America. There is nothing on that. So I ask you, why isn't the FBI doing anything about this? Why does there need to be an extradition? Why are they dragging the feet? They have a video. They have 6 people. They have culpable people. They have more than enough to send in them boys from the U.S. Marshals kicking in the door and waving the 4-4. So why haven't they? Because they kicked the ball to Mexico, and now we're all wondering what's going on with Mexico. And Mexico issued the warrant saying, hey, we did what we needed to do. We did what we needed to do. So where is she? What's going on? Are you extraditing her or not? And now the U.S. is dragging their feet with paperwork because apparently it's not a priority. Let Shanquella Robinson's name been Pablo Escobar. They would have had him back in 2 weeks. Let this been the person, and I'm just saying it, that's responsible for the Ohio murders. Let them find him in Kansas. They will have him back in Idaho within 24 hours of finding the murder. I 100% guarantee you. So let's actually talk. Now that we know that these excuses that are being made are pure excuses, let's actually talk. Why isn't anything happening in the Shanquella Robinson's case? Do you want to know what I think is going on, right? Let's get this. If someone kills a U.S. citizen in a foreign country, right? They will... if they kill a U.S. citizen in a foreign country, they could be tried and jailed in the United States. Do you hear that? Even if this was a Mexico national that hurt Shanquella, right? They could literally bring him to the U.S. and make him serve time here. We have 2 U.S. citizens. One is the alleged. The other one is the unfortunate victim. Why are we putting this in Mexico's hands? And I say this to say because it's like, I feel like so many have lost the plot. The plot is justice to Shanquella, not gatekeeping, not arguing, not what you think. Great. But if everything that all the naysayers believe are true, then why are we not calling for the U.S. to persecute? Because let's make it clear, even by the naysayers' own thing, that petition for extradition, according to you, hasn't been approved. So there's still time for America to say, guess what? The extradition ain't never getting approved. We're trying them here in America. And when we're done with them, y'all can have your bite at the apple too. But right now, no, we got them on American soil. They're American citizens. We got them in our sights. We're doing this. The U.S. government, the FBI could easily do this. So why aren't they? Why aren't they? Because of what? Because of what? Because if everything that the naysayers believe are true and everything the naysayers believe are true, then why aren't we fighting for the U.S. government to step in? And then we don't have to wait 6 months for extradition. We don't need to wait for her to fight. We already know that they can persecute for the killing of a U.S. citizen overseas. I just read you the penal code, right? And there needs to be no tie to the America. The only tie to America is the fact that you guys are both citizens. But even if it was a Mexican citizen and it was Shanquella, that's all the tie they need. You're a U.S. citizen, boom, we have jurisdiction over our citizens. But the fact that they won't, they can't, they don't care, they're dragging their feet, and all that's going on is like descending into infighting instead of looking at the people responsible for getting us justice, the people we pay our tax dollars to, the people we do stuff to, and saying, what the HE double hockey sticks are you guys doing? Because Mexico doesn't have to be involved. You guys lied to us, or somebody lied to us and made it seem like Mexico had to be involved because there's no tie to the U.S. soil. That is a lie. They have jurisdiction. They can try it right now. Okay? Jurisdiction right now. And we can get 1 million lawyers on the channel to co-sign on this. This is actual canon. This is legal law. And if a lawyer's not telling you this, you need to actually look at a lawyer. But even look at the lawyer's side eyes. But even from a common sense point of view, what country do you know that has passports and is allowed in other countries that their citizens can go overseas, do whatever they want, come home, and they're fine? As long as it happened to a U.S. citizen, we don't got nothing to do with it. No. It's actually unusual that Mexico is asking for the extradition and that the U.S. is dragging its feet at doing. And I'm going to call a spade a spade. Instead of arguing over this, that, and the third, and again, listen, everybody has a right to discuss what they want. Please don't misunderstand my intentions, okay? Everybody can discuss what they want. Everybody can think what they want. Everybody can articulate what they feel, how they want. I am asking that in addition to the way everybody feels individually, collectively, maybe what we need to do is start putting pressure on the FBI, on the federal government, on the prosecution, to try them in a federal court for the murder, the conspiracy, the tampering of evidence, and any other things that we find. Why can that not be an additional plea, an additional charge? And again, everybody can do this the way they want. I'm going about it the way I want. Please don't misunderstand what I'm saying. But it's time we act and look to our government. Since, right, we don't know what's happening. Is the extradition petition, not whether she's in custody. I do believe she is under some provisional arrest. That is just me. I do believe that even, it's so funny that all these things now being leaked about Shanquella are coming out around the time that it's become perfectly evident that who's slowing things down is it's not the Mexico government, it's the U.S. government. Slowing it down, acting like it's not a priority. They can make 1 million excuses, but we all know that when the federal government wants to get things done, boom, bop, bop, wake up, let's go. You know they turn on the dime and get things done. So now all of a sudden we asking that out. But again, what's the thing? Do they not consider this case high profile? Do they not care? Are they waiting for us to stop talking about it? Are they literally listening to like, oh, it's too much infight and whatever, we just going to ignore this? What actually is going on? Because the U.S. government has not handed over Daejhanae Jackson. Have they? Right? I believe she's under provisional arrest. Watch my old videos if you don't know what it is, okay? I explain it in detail. I do believe she's under provisional arrest. The extradition, for whatever reason, has not been approved yet. What is taking so long? They know it's her. They have video evidence. And there are, at best, 6 witnesses, 5 witnesses. At worst, 5 co-conspirators that can also co-sign whatever. So what is the problem? This case is open and shut. Even Mexico is saying this case is open and shut. Gimme, 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 gimme. So why haven't they given her? And I want to just say this, right? If they haven't given her, then you know what? Deal's off. There's no extradition, whatever. And we're bringing them charges in the U.S. Pick them up. Charge them. You have the law on your side. It's just incredible to me that we've been... we have been, I don't know the words lied to, but we have been bamboozled into overlooking the fact that the people on our end, our government, are not doing what they need to do. And if they are, they're not doing it fast enough. All right? Everybody's talking about, oh, did they say anything to the family? Did they not? Baby, why is she not on Mexico soil right now? And if you don't want to extradite her, why is she not being brought up on murder charges in the federal courts of North Carolina or wherever she is residing? Why? 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 You guys, listen, we all want justice for Shanquella, and justice will come. But justice is not going to come unless we put pressure. If we put pressure on the federal government to be like, you have the power to bring up charges, and no, it didn't need to be planned on American soil, and it didn't need to do this, and it didn't need to be any of that bullshit that anybody was telling us. All we needed was exactly what happened. A U.S. citizen, another U.S. citizen, there was a death, you're responsible, or we think you're responsible, let's pull it over. Because let's be real, if the U.S. government is going to issue the approve the extradition, it has to be approved. Approve the extradition of Daejhanae Jackson, right? Then that must mean that they believe there is some validity to the warrant. Let's just act like the tape didn't exist. Whatever that evidence is, it can also be tried in America because we have pretty much the same levels of evidence that you need, the same weight of evidence you need to bring up charges for murder in Mexico or in America. You guys, I'm actually really sick and tired of this. I woke up mad when I looked through and I found this penal code to actually show that the U.S. is the problem. And like Mr. Robinson asked, and Mrs. Robinson asked, and Shanquella's sisters and families and friends have been asking, why is the U.S. government not doing anything? Either speed it up, because they can, judges approve it, you put it in front of the judge, it can be approved. When you put something in front of a judge, that whole thing, it's approved that day. It's just a waiting line to get approved. This should be a high profile. It should be moved up. And if you don't want to do that, then let's bring them up on charges here. You know what? We need to actually start having serious questions about our leaders. Where's Al Sharpton? Where are our leaders? Where are the million people marching? Where are the fathers, the sisters, the sons and daughters? Where is the athletes? Right? Where are the celebrities? Where's Kim K? Right? She wants to do all this, get out of job. Baby, this is your time to shine. Kim K, if there was ever a chance that your fame horn tendencies could do something, this is the time. Jump on this case. It's open and shut. Do what you can. Meet with the Biden administration. Put this on your GD podcast. But where is the public outrage? Where is the public outcry? And I don't mean infighting and, oh, then I'm right. No, I mean where, why, how, and who. Y'all, I'm sorry to turn this into the last minutes of a Dr. Seuss, but I am heated and it just makes me so mad. And at the end of the day, the real enemy is whoever is standing in the way of justice. And right now it seems to be, I don't know, our government doesn't seem to be cooperating. Let's focus what we can, tag the FBI, tag Biden, tag Kamala Harris. I know everybody's like, oh, it don't matter. It does. It does. Do you know why Shanquella's case is even picked up on Nancy Grace and Dateline? Not that they don't care. Everybody, if you hear that story, you have a heart, you care. But why is it being featured? Why? Because it gets clicks and views. Simple. It gets clicks and views. There's a million tragedies in the world, but the ones that are elevated are the ones that the public outcries and say, we care about that. We want to hear more about. Let's go. And yes, I wish we could have this for every tragedy, but right now I'm focusing on Shanquella's tragedy. And don't ever let anybody tell you that tagging someone, doing this, doing it, doesn't make a difference. Of course it makes a difference. And I think it's time that we really look at our leaders in our country and our federal government and being like, what the hell is going on? And why are you guys now holding it up? Anyway, y'all, I'll talk to y'all later. Hope you have a happy holiday. I know I was like fire and brimstone, but I was so mad when I read that I felt like I had been bamboozled, saying, wait, so the government doesn't need Mexico? They can do what they want? Yeah. Anyway, y'all, let me know what you think in the comments, and I will talk to you later. Bye.